Welcome to the Hotel California, the world's only hotel completely removed from time and space. We are proud to host guests of all time periods and alternate dimensions, manifesting wherever desperate and weary travelers need us most. No matter who you are, or where, or when you're from, your room will be ready just as soon as you step in the door. Please do not be alarmed if your room suddenly shifts floors or several doors to the left. This is simply the hotel rearranging itself to create more vacancies. Our rates are flexible, so please pay as much as you can afford.
Our amenities include an outdoor courtyard and pool, an indoor gym and day spa, a ballroom for conferences, an arcade and billiards room, several restaurants, the boiler room, the room with blood-covered walls, the library, a parlor and billiards room, an in-house drugstore, the famous McKitty murder room, an indoor croquet court, a presidential suite, a sports bar and billiards room, vending machines, and ice machines. Please note that the outdoor courtyard and pool are closed until further notice. All doors to the outdoor courtyard and pool have been locked indefinitely. Please notify the staff if the doors to the outdoor courtyard and pool are breached.
Our staff pride themselves on being on call 24/7. If you find something not to your liking, feel free to ask for the night manager at the front desk, and we will try our best to accommodate you. Please note that we will not be accepting any further inquiries as to the whereabouts of the day manager. The investigation is ongoing, and we have no more information to release at this time.
The Hotel California is newly renovated for the 2020 season, hoping to address recent reviews of the establishment being haunted and sincerely uncomfortable to pass the time in. While we cannot comment on the veracity of these reviews, we have removed wireless internet and cell phone service from hotel grounds to help our guests appreciate the amenities here even more than before. If you have constructive criticism, make sure to fill out a feedback slip at the front desk.
Please enjoy your indefinite stay at the Hotel California. What's that? The checkout time? Well, you're free to check out whenever you'd like. Whether the hotel chooses to let you leave, however, well, that's a different matter entirely. Hi, folks. Welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing You Can Check Out Anytime You Like, But You Can Never Leave by Marn S. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. You Can Check Out Anytime You Like is a hack of Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands about the world's only hotel removed from time and space. Create messy entanglements and to inject surreal horror into the everyday. Fight with friends, kiss your doppelganger, ally with someone shady. I'm Jade, I also go by Coda. You can find me most places on the internet at Jade Oxford Rose, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today we have Shrug.
Hey, I'm Shrug. You can find me on Tumblr at Secret Frog or on Blue Sky at The Secret Frog, and my pronouns are he, him.
We have August.
Hello, I'm August. You can find me on Tumblr at Strange Harpy, on Blue Sky and Itch at Harpydora, and my pronouns are they, them.
And we have Cory.
Hi folks, I'm Cory. You can find me here with you, or on another podcast, Sagas of the Sunless Reach. My pronouns are he, him.
Our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, plagues and pandemics. Our veils, which are things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. Additional content warnings for this game will be in the show notes as they apply. With all of that out of the way, let's get started. Woo!
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
I'm clapping my hands, but in a way that's friendly to the audio.
So we're back at the hotel. Truly, we never left in our hearts. We've been chatting amongst ourselves as players for a while about wanting to come back, revisit this site that has become sort of folded into the mythos of the greater FTL multiverse. Thanks, Mon. We appreciate you. As a sort of weird little nexus point where our universes like to intersect. But we're going to be having a group of new characters. Well, I say new. This is FTL. You may have seen them before, or a version of them before. We've looked through the safety tools as a standard. Like all hacks of Mobile Frame Zero, it's a collection of mini games, which we will play for. One of the fun things about you can check out, much like the song that inspired the game, the mini games themselves are also named after, I suppose, 80s rock tunes. But yeah, we will create some messy entanglements and inject some surreal horror into the everyday. And we'll keep playing until we decide we're done. To end play, you tend to have two options: attempt to escape the hotel for good, or leave your characters living in the hotel indefinitely. There is a specific game to play if you are having play end with revolting against the hotel. But that's the end of the game. The start of the game is In the Air Tonight, which all does play. We'll get to that in just a moment. Normally you'd play sort of solo, but this is radio, and we figured that y'all would probably want to hear us playing. So let's first, though, introduce our characters. Now, there are three backgrounds you can be as a character in a hotel. You can be a guest, you can be a staff member, or you can be an anomaly. So, yeah, we'll rattle through.
Yeah, so I am playing a member of staff at the hotel. You are a member of the staff at the hotel. Perhaps an elevator operator, a bartender, a maid, or even the night manager themselves. You serve the well-being and upkeep of the hotel first and foremost, and the guests second. Much like the guests, you may be from any place and time, and you are similarly prevented from leaving the hotel. You have been here a long time, and know much more about the hotel than you disclose to the guests. As staff, you are concerned with running the day-to-day operations of the hotel, keeping the guests happy, ignorant, and provided for, and preventing the anomalies from making trouble. I will be playing Dave, pronouns he, him. His three traits are exhausted, thoughtful, and I have written empathetic as the third one, crossed it out, and written judgmental instead. Background questions as staff include: how did you come to be employed at the hotel? For Dave, I was a guest once, but I was helpful, and someone persuaded me the hotel was important. And I can almost convince myself I have more power, any power really, if I am staff. What part of the hotel do you refuse to be in alone or at night? I avoid leaving the ground level as much as possible, but I absolutely refuse to go near the pool. And what do you do in your downtime? I try to remember who I used to be, and try to keep my notes hidden from whoever keeps stealing them while I work.
Fun. You are a guest of the Hotel California, either scooped up from the present day or displaced from your time period / alternate universe. You are on the run from something. It might be a masked killer who chased you into the hotel's doorstep, or the expectations of your family, but the hotel only appears to people who need to get away. You may not know it yet, but you are trapped inside the hotel indefinitely. As a guest, you are concerned with investigating and provoking the anomalies, solving or ignoring your personal problems, pestering the staff, and finding a way to leave the hotel. I will be playing Marnie Sands, pronouns she, her. Her traits are inquisitive, gentle, and naive. The background questions for the guest are: what were you running from when you stumbled upon the hotel? Marnie's answer is the pressures of life as a scavenger. We had a little extra cash after our most recent job, so I thought I'd get a fancy hotel room next time we were docked somewhere nice, as a treat. It wasn't until after I signed in that I realized the hotel looked weirdly familiar. How long have you been a guest here? I don't know, a couple of months maybe? It's really hard to tell time here, but I feel like it's been a while. And what do you miss most about where you're from? It's stupid, but I miss the water back on the ship. The water here just tastes funny, probably because it hasn't gone through purifiers or whatever. I miss the others too. Of course I miss them. But outside of that, it has to be the water.
Finally, we have an anomaly on hand. You are an anomaly, someone or something distinctly wrong that is manifested inside the hotel. You could be a doppelganger of one of the guests from another place and time, a ghost, an unholy amalgamate of missing staff members, a sinister stalker who slipped in following a guest, a monster, a manifestation of the hotel itself, or some other deeply disturbing thing. Whatever you are not supposed to be here, and yet you are trapped just as everyone else is. As an anomaly, you are concerned with scaring the guests, playing them against each other, and toying with them in any way you see fit. You are also concerned with avoiding the staff. In my case, much like how August has Marnie, I have picked back up on Thorn Hecastocles. They, it pronouns for this one. The traits that I've selected for Thorn here are detached, lonely, and feral. I love these questions. The background questions for the anomaly include: what sights, smells, and sounds commonly herald your appearance? To which the answer for that is: the scent of flowers and cut grass drift in front of me. The air around me is dusty, and there is a desiccating heat that surrounds my form. As I pass through, there is a sound of cracking branches, a whistling desert wind, and birdsong. I get to ask which member of the staff is not afraid of me. I've been between the two that we have listed here, but I think it's probably Dave, hands down. Somehow, I just get a vibe. It's probably not that.
It's good. I think you should say what the other sentence you wrote is, though.
Here
Yeah.
we go. Literally what I wrote was Dave, hands down, period, space, probably from annoyance. The final question for the anomaly here is: do you envy the guests or see them as your enemies? To which the answer is: the guests are stimulation and sensation. I feed from their conversations and what is discarded. Small things have a habit of disappearing around me and becoming part of my whole, but small is ever relative.
Fun.
Hell yeah.
And I am technically playing staff. My character name is Birdie, uses she, they pronouns. Traits are kind, loyal, and distorted. Background questions. How did you come to be employed at the hotel? I was born and raised here. I always helped out where I could growing up, and as I got older, it just made sense for me to do more. The part of the hotel I refuse to be in alone or at night is the boiler room. And what do I do in my downtime? I upcycle. I like to make new things out of old from the lost and found, and hotel property that is no longer fit for purpose or won't be missed. And I just want to expand a little on distorted. This is a place disconnected from time and space, as has been well established, but I think the place itself also can't help but have an effect on the people there. It's something we've seen before with characters who might arrive being human, but they don't leave the same. And I think for Birdie, something about growing up here has made they're very good at appearing differently to different people. I think different folks maybe remember her as the age or perceive her at different ages, depending on what they expect to see. And yeah, she was raised here. I don't think her parent is around anymore, but she was raised effectively by the night manager. So it's fine. I'm sure they are not stunted or weird in any way.
Yes, the exquisite learning environment that is a 24/7 hotel.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There's a library. There's multiple rooms that have billiards in them. It's great.
It works.
Everything you need. Everything you need.
Fine.
So, we've now introduced our characters. So, we move to the first game, In the Air Tonight or A Solitary Dream. Basically, each of us will choose what sort of dream you've been having and what happened in it. Choose freely. And then we end the dream. Because of your most recent dream, there is something about you, some detail of your mood, appearance, goals, or actions that everyone might notice. Decide what the detail is, and the next time you play, announce it to the table. So, who wants to go first? As I throw turn order boldly out the window.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly set a dream as much as a thing can dream. And I feel that this is appropriate. I think in Thorn's case, it's been dreaming of a chase lately. And I'm between two answers, but I think ultimately it's realizing that it might want to be caught after all.
Oh, yeah. I think Marnie has been dreaming about her past lately, and remembering the people she left behind. She's wondering what they're up to. She's wondering if, like, Marlon and the rest have noticed that she's missing. She's wondering how Kai's keeping everything on an even keel, what trouble Bazda's gotten herself into, and how Barry has been handling the finances.
I think I'm gonna get a little more explicit with Dave's dream.
Nice.
I believe Dave has been dreaming about the hotel lately, and you think it's trying to tell you something important. So I think Dave is dreaming about wandering the hotel during the day, and has this sense that he is not wandering this hotel as staff in this dream. He's there as a guest, which can't be right. He's always been staff. And in fact, he looks at every member of staff he passes. They've all got his face. That perfectly average man face. The brown hair, brown eyes. Except when he gets to the place where he should be. Working the Continental Breakfast Bar. And that is someone else entirely. It's someone who looks entirely too well put together for his current position, who looks at Dave, shakes his head, and taps his watch, and then Dave wakes up.
Beauty.
Delightful. Birdie is dreaming of something she's never seen in real life. It's something she's only seen in dreams. Of a sky she doesn't know. Like, what little sky can be seen from the courtyard is very sort of nondescript. It almost has the feel of like a painted backdrop, whereas this sky is alive, and there are clouds moving across and stars, and they are... It's that weird feeling in dreams, whether it could be swimming, it could be flying. It's not really important how you're moving, but she is moving. And it's that feeling of just wanting to keep going, to see what else there is. And there is a sunrise just starting to creep on the horizon. But she wakes up before it can get any higher in the sky. So,
I do need you to know contextually that the description is especially apt because right now I'm sitting in my office and it is pouring rain out in the window.
See,
Very
I also
moody.
forgot about the prompts for the rest of the game, and that's part of why I rambled the way I did.
No, that's
So
fair.
let me have a look.
I decidedly did not ramble. Smile.
Mm. Let's see.
So, for our listeners, there are, after In the Air Tonight, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, plus the 2 expansion games I have. I don't know if you have any others, August, if you've got a more recent version. But the games listed here are Is There Something I Should Know? Or an investigation. Hit Me With Your Best Shot, a conversation over billiards. Staying Alive, or a chase. Who Can It Be Now? Or a conversation through a door. Fight It Out, which is meeting fist to fist. I Want to Dance with Somebody, a dance. I Think We're Alone Now, sealing time together. Time After Time, or a memory of the hotel, and burning down the house. And there is also telephone line, or speaking to the manager, and night swimming, or spending time at the pool.
I also have working for the weekend or taking a break, breakfast in America or a continental breakfast, and sleeping with the television on or watching TV. I've posted, it looks like the main document is largely the same. It looks like the most recent expansion that I have is the one that has more differences. So
Nice. Oh
I've
yeah,
posted
5
that in the
minigames.
chat.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, I went out and because I realized it's been a while since I looked at You Can Check Out, so I went out and re-downloaded it from Itch this morning. So
Heck yeah.
Uh,
I do need you all to know that Night Swimming in particular is my 80s song. My heart goes out to you, Michael Stipe. But that does leave us with the question of where the heck do we go first? What's the vibe, y'all?
I'm kind of looking at Who Can It Be Now, but I'm trying to decide who my partner would be. Let me go ahead and read the setup, and maybe we can sort out who
Hell yeah.
who's whomst in this.
Sounds good.
Only you and your chosen partner play. Choose which of you has shut yourself in a room of the hotel and who is on the other side of the door. Ask your partner how you came to be in this situation together. What do you know about each other? What do you want from each other? During the game, anyone may ask for details of the setting, occasion, and circumstances. So, conducting the conversation, the person inside the room begins the conversation. First, say why you distrust the person out on the outside and what you're most afraid might happen. Lead the other player through a series of 4 challenges. During the conversation, each player will gain coins representing the influence you have on each other. Part of me wants this to be Dave.
Hell yeah.
Makes sense.
I feel like either one of us could be on the inside of the door. I think it's whichever you find more interesting, Shrog, whether you'd like to be the person leading the conversation or not.
I have an interesting thought,
Mm-hmm.
kind of inverting the idea of inside and outside. Because I don't think I necessarily want to lead this conversation.
Okay.
What do we think about the idea that Marnie has restricted herself to the role of being a guest? And so is in, like, the breakfast area or whatever, and that is the inside, and the outside is the, like, staff room kitchen area.
Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. Cool. In that case, what do we know about each other? I think Marnie knows Dave has been here a lot longer than she has, and I think one of the things Dave notices about her since her recent dream is that she's a little more melancholy the past couple of days.
Yeah. I will say I think Dave also tends bar at night,
Hmm.
if that affects what he might know about Marnie.
I'm not sure that Marnie is a big drinker, so I think
Mhm.
that wouldn't necessarily affect their relationship.
Yeah. It's just a thing I have not said out loud yet.
Okay.
Um, I think I have heard that you're dissatisfied with the water quality here.
Mm.
You may not have ever said this out loud, but
Ooh,
Dave knows somehow,
I love it. Yeah, I haven't said it out loud to anyone.
even though he can't do anything about it.
Good, good.
A vaguely floral scented card has been deposited in the complaints box.
How has Dave's dream affected his demeanor?
Um, I mean, he's always a little haggard looking, so that is not necessarily a change. Um, he is looking at the clock more frequently and doesn't really know why.
Mm. All right. What do we want from each other?
Hmm.
Let's see. Let's see.
I think Dave wants to get a beat on what Marty needs.
I think Marnie wants some space from Dave because I'm imagining she kind of sticks to the ground floor a lot of the
Hmm.
time too.
Fair.
All right. So I begin the conversation and I say why I distrust the person on the outside and what I'm most afraid might happen. Um, I distrust Dave because of how average he is. Like he that kind of rubs Marnie the wrong way. It's like, shouldn't he be more distinguished? Like everybody else that Marnie interacts with appears to be marked by the hotel in some way. And other than being exhausted, it doesn't seem like Dave has been particularly marked by it. And that kind of freaks Marnie out a little bit. And what I'm most afraid might happen is I might let slip a secret or something that could be used to like tie me even more to the hotel.
Hmm.
Let's see. These challenges are all really good.
While you're deciding, I do need to let you know in an aside that what you've said is extremely funny, given that my last exposure to Marnie, from what I recall, was Tet.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not this Marnie.
It's not this Marnie, but it's just very funny in the multiverse of things.
Yes.
Things Elderton terrifying a man.
Ooh.
Which would you rather run into in a hotel, a man or a bear?
Hmm.
Sorry, sorry.
True.
There you go.
Well, based on what I just said about why I distrust you, your power or appearance frightens me. Throw. On heads, you do or say something that puts me at ease and gain a coin. On tails, you worry me further and I gain a coin.
I'm a roll a d2 and dice stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 is heads, 2 is tails. Hey!
Okay. So, how do you show that my power appearance frightens you? Do you like say something? Or is there just a vibe?
I think there's just a vibe. Like, there's. I'm trying to figure out how the vibe manifests because I don't think Marnie says anything directly. Maybe it's something that ends up in the suggestion box.
That guy
Um,
Dave, weird.
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think of the word that Marnie would use because I don't think creepy is the word because that has too many connotations that
Unsettling?
I don't want to. Unsettling, yeah. Just a little suggestion, Dave's a little unsettling. Maybe he could get a little bit of customer service training or something like that.
Hmm.
Now, whether or not like management at the hotel has actually acted upon it is entirely up to you, but I feel like that's how Dave knows that Marnie
Hmm.
is unsettled.
Yeah, Dave found the suggestion slip. Whether it was given to him is a different question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since I am empowered to ask questions about the occasion, like, what's going on here? Like, is this time wise? I know that time is a question mark in this situation, but is it a general breakfast time, or is it that kind of like awkward? You've arrived a little too late. The eggs are out. Like, things are getting restocked kind of situation.
Ooh, I love that I arrived a little too late. Like,
Hmm.
maybe in trying to avoid Dave, but it didn't work.
Hmm.
Content to feast upon whatever crumbs of toast were left, but it turns out.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think there's this. Dave picks up on you being disappointed and unsettled by Dave still being here. But just from. I have set up a very weird vibe here, I know, but like, Dave is not crossing through that little, like, swinging door. It might be open,
Mm-hmm.
but he very much understands that he is not welcome in the area right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just starts off with, there's more back here if you need anything. The powdered eggs never really get finished. Don't understand why. They're perfectly fine. People seem to hate them for some reason.
I think Marnie kind of shrugs and is like, yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, you know, where I'm from, you're lucky if you can get the powdered stuff. Synthetic eggs are pretty awful.
Are you sleeping well?
Hmm. Let me check the challenges because I feel like that question should trigger a challenge.
That's fair.
I have to ask while that's occurring. The door situation, it's a swinging door. Is it like a full length one or more like a saloon door that you could lean over? How visible is the Dave?
Oh, I was thinking it's a full length one.
All right.
I I seem to recall doors in hotels that are like full length with like almost a porthole style window in them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking too. Wasn't super sure.
yeah. It's that style. It is propped open by Dave's body at this moment.
All right, so I'm gonna modify this one a little bit. You
Hmm.
did or said something recently that it reads made me too angry to think straight, but um, I don't think it makes Marnie angry, the question, but I think it really sets me on my back foot because I don't think I'm being obvious about
Hmm.
like my melancholy dreams. So, throw. On heads, you're able to soothe me and gain a coin. On tails, you only make me more unsettled, and I gain a coin.
Okay. Great. That's heads again.
Nice.
Um. So I I realize I've said something rather odd out of turn. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I only ask because I know it can be an adjustment. And if you haven't tried it yet, we do offer a variety of white noise channels on the televisions. I don't know if engine noise or the hum of thrusters would put you more at ease. We want our guests to feel at home.
Right. Yeah, I'll check that out. Um, ooh, here's a good one. We've met before and you left me with a bad first impression. Maybe Dave realizes that part of the reason that Marnie may be feeling unease is because of how they first met when she first got to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So throw. On heads, you make it up to me and gain a coin. On tails, you only dig yourself deeper and I gain a coin.
Ah, that's tails. I have dug myself deeper. Um,
What's something that might have been off-putting that Dave could have done when they first met?
hmm. I, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Dave already understanding what
Mm.
Marty dislikes about the water here, and I think he mentioned that, like,
Ooh.
morning one or two.
Maybe like um he could have offered like there's bottled water.
Mm-hmm.
Um it's not as cold or whatever, but if you aren't getting on, because like obviously there's some like pitchers or whatever, like the water dispensers, but at the breakfast buffet, just like there's bottled water. Then maybe that could have been it, like as a way to organically mention it in conversation. That Dave would then not clock as a really buck wild for him thing to have said out
Mm-hmm.
of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it. So maybe digging yourself deeper, you make that offer again. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah,
have,
you're sure I can't? You sure I can't offer you anything? Coffee, a bottled water?
yep, still or sparkling, whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
I love that regular water is called still water.
Uh huh.
Cool.
Despite everything, it's still water.
Yeah, it's only water.
All right. Last challenge. I like this challenge a lot, but I'm having a problem thinking about what it could be. But I want you to do something for me that compromises your personal code or sense of morals. Um, could it be? Well, no, Dave's already offered to bring out some stuff, even though the breakfast buffet is kind of closing right now. So he's already offered to kind of break the rules of the hotel a little bit. Um, maybe something that Marnie's been kind of quietly investigating is why the pool is closed.
Hmm.
And Dave knows this.
Hmm.
So maybe it's those things, one of those things where that's like, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, but it's one of those things where it's like, obviously that's kind of verboten, uh,
Hmm.
among the staff to really, engage with guests about. And so on heads, you convince me of a satisfying alternative and gain a coin, and on tails, I cannot be swayed and I gain a coin.
Okay, that is heads again.
All right. So what's the alternative you convince me of instead of you telling me like about the pool area?
I mean, you're just generally trying to get us an idea of what the deal is with the pool, right?
Yeah.
I think this is more of like a confession that Dave also doesn't know and doesn't want to know.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so this is not necessarily like an alternative of, oh, I know who you can talk to, but it's more like, no, this is not a mystery that I am keeping from you.
Mhm. Cool. That's 4 challenges. So after 4 challenges, compare coins. If the person inside the room has more coins, the person on the outside gives up and leaves them be, or they're able to find an alternative way out of the room. Um, that is not the case. I only have 1 coin, and Dave has 3 coins. So if the person on the outside of the room has as many coins or more, choose one. And I think you've convinced me to trust you, at least for the time being. So I open the door and let you in. So
Alright.
I relent.
Mm-hmm. And I bring out some, not quite leftovers, but some of the remaining items from breakfast.
Mm.
An oddly accurate sense of what Marnie wants.
I think it's probably some of those powdered eggs, um, some toast and jam, maybe a little turkey bacon.
Alright, very good.
Nice.
Who's next?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Any of the challenges leaping out to you, Cory? Mini games, sorry.
Not in the immediacy.
May I make a suggestion?
Suggest away.
Since Thorn has been dreaming about a chase recently, why not do Staying Alive or a chase?
That's fair. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I want to get there. I don't know if it's too early. But you know what? No, set the stakes now, right?
It's never too early to be on your bullshit.
It's never too early to be chased around a horrendous hotel where everything. What's that math problem? An infinite number of rooms plus 1 guests or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the Infinity Hotel.
Yeah. It's right. Hilbert's Paradox, the Grand Hotel. That's what it was.
The Hilbert Hotel. Everyone has to shift rooms to the number that is double theirs, so you can accommodate a larger number of guests.
Yeah, I think so. To place Thorn a little bit, the idea that we kind of had was as a displaced clipping that essentially kind of fused itself into the hotel at question mark period of time a while ago relative to this in terms of the timeline in which it came from, more like a few months or so. But time moves differently here, right? So I think in this case, the way that Thorn has been slowly expanding was it started with like something in the lobby as folks are passing by, just a little clipping that kind of grafted itself onto something else. Then it became the vents as it got attracted by moisture and air and sound. And it's just been expanding slowly through those, through other cracks, kind of like a weed would through the sidewalk almost, just finding its way into places where normally it should not be. And normally it would not thrive if it didn't have solid roots and a place to start from. Almost as if it broke through like the bottom of the pot in a sense that's not easily noticeable, and by the time someone noticed, it was able to break away from its vessel entirely. I think it's safe to say in this case that right now, at least, Thorn is the hunter. The query is the question.
I think any of the options could be very interesting.
Yeah. You know, let's go for a full roll call. Birdie hasn't been represented yet, so.
Okay.
Thorn right now, I think, is in an information gathering kind of mode, where it's attempting to. It has been monitoring people, but only from afar and only what its leaves could pick up on through vibrations of the air or through the vents or other sorts of things. I think this is the first time it is beginning to perceive more than just sound. It is developing some form of visual sensory input, and the person it is choosing to test this on first is Birdie. So how did this chase begin, do you think?
Um,
Hmm.
Go ahead and read the setup and conducting the chase
True.
real quick.
So in Staying Alive, the setup here is that only me and my chosen partner play. We get to choose who is the hunter and who is the quarry in this case. We ask the partner how the chase began, what the history is with between the two, whether or not the chase starts fast or begins slow, building to a crescendo as we progress to the hotel, that sort of thing. During the chase, also, anyone can ask about additional details about the landscape, like what's ahead and what's behind, or what course the chase may take.
So, I like the idea of this beginning very slowly,
Yeah.
like that it isn't obvious it's a chase at all. Because here's a question for you, Corey.
Hmm.
How long? I say how long? Like time isn't
Yeah.
question mark.
Yeah.
How I was gonna say how much of Thorn's awareness has it known about Birdie, or how
Hmm.
long has Birdie been? How long has the staff been aware that this plant anomaly is living in the ventilation system and expanding?
In the mind's eye, I have the image of housekeeping staff coming in to clean out a room one day and
Mm-hmm.
discovering it not totally overgrown, but
Mm.
like flowers and prickles and leaves sprouting forth from one of the vents and connecting to like one of the like windowsill garden plants almost.
Mm.
And it is whole and alive and thriving, and the plant that was in the windowsill is crisp brown and dead.
So Thorn is known to staff and
Yes.
has been for a little bit.
I think in the matter of weeks to maybe a couple of months.
Okay, cool. Um, so I feel like from the staff perspective, it's like, well, where this isn't normal plant behavior, but it's not posed a risk to guests or the hotel structure yet. Um, so I think there's like, look, don't anger a thing you don't understand because the consequences are beyond unpredictable. So we don't antagonize first. The list of hotel policies is like don't provoke the anomalies first.
Yeah.
We're reactive, not proactive. So
I imagine one of those like 50s training videos about the guy that did that once.
yeah, there's a reason why we don't. For every rule, there's a reason why. Maybe this is like it's not like a full courtyard, but maybe there's like a little kitchen garden.
Hmm.
Um, and you can see like some of like the air vents or the AC, and it's like um go out into here because it creates a really nice, humid, moist environment that's good for the vegetables to grow.
Hmm.
So it's like this little sort of not fully enclosed, but it's decent conditions for plants. Um, and Birdie is just doing a little bit of I don't know, weeding or like watering the plants or like putting down plant food or whatever.
Oh man.
Um, doing something pro a plant, but could react in fear if something were to happen.
Yeah, I was thinking like if Birdie's taking care of the garden here, is it like would it be that they're potentially doing some pruning as well?
That can be what kicks Thorn off if you like.
Yeah, I think that's it because it's a very reasonable thing, right? Something that grows in the garden. If it's a
Yeah,
little too wild, you cut it back a little.
yeah. Or maybe it's like I'm setting up like some trellis on one side and trying to weave this plant that we don't understand back from the vegetables so they don't get
Hmm.
choked out by it. And maybe like I get a bit like twisted up around my wrist and I'm like, so I cut that off
Hmm.
because again, we've been told don't antagonize. but it's sort of like without even thinking, just like snip the
Yeah.
tendril that's caught around my hand.
Yeah, I think it's not as if it's a reaction of fear or of retaliation necessarily, so much more as the sudden severance of like a nerve ending almost, right? Is what draws attention.
Like a myclonic jerk. Like sort of
Yeah.
like that's something that just happened to my body.
There's something there that needs to be paid attention to.
Okay.
And
Um
oh, go ahead.
No, you said probably what the full reaction is, because then I was just going to read out what conducting the chase is.
Yeah, I think what it is we said it'll start slow, and I'm imagining in my mind's eye again that sort of Shutter show, right? Of Birdie proceeding through various places, and
Yeah.
it's a montage almost where you can see there are scenes normally, and in the corners there's just leaves or vines or flowers poking out from places where they shouldn't quite be.
All right, then, not knowing yet that she needs to find a safe destination, I think it's probably management office. So.
Yep. So to set the rules here, conducting the chase, the Cory conducts the chase. First, they say where they're going, what safe destination in the hotel is their end goal, why do they think they will be safe there, and if they don't know yet, that's okay too. They'll lead the hunter through a series of 4 challenges and admissions. Choose freely, though the third must be an admission, and then during the chase, the Cory and the hunter will gain coins representing the distance they've gained on each other. So, end goal, management office.
I think this tracks as a fun place to start, and we'll see the vibe going forward. I know this part of the hotel well. Follow me if you want, but throw. On tails, you're following me into unknown territory, and I won't have to choose any admissions during the chase at all.
Ha, very fun. Okay. Let's get throwing.
To be continued.